It's your number one indie radio chick, Tonya B, and I want you to join me every Friday and Saturday, 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday at noon Eastern Time for the Byrdwire. It is hands down, bar none, the undisputed home of the best new and classic indie music. I've got new indie tracks from every corner of the globe. R&B, Southern Soul, clean hip-hop, and even a splash of smooth jazz. So come on, get in, get on, and get heard. Come fly with your girl on the Byrdwire, right here on the Castropolis Podcast Network.
The next time you drive through Central Georgia, we've got a radio station we think you'll love. We're Magic 100, playing all of the songs you grew up with. You'll find us at 100.1 FM. That's 100.1. On I-75, you can tune us in from the north at Locust Grove and from the south when you get to Perry. 100.1 FM. Classic soul hits. Magic 100.
This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 180. This is the G Podcast. Tommy B is in the building. We are at the city of East Point, man. I'm kicking off the show this week at the Juneteenth celebration, the 2023 Juneteenth celebration of freedom. Thank you so much, Karen Renee, East Point City Council member, NAACP VP, and Vice Mayor. Thank you so much for having us out. And guess who's behind me, y'all? Come on, bro. Don't be hiding behind the umbrella.
What's up,
Vince the Voice Bailey's here, y'all. And I just wanted to say what's up to Vince. Vince, man, tell us about who's on tonight, man. Who's on?
Oh, man, it's going to be a big show. You know, we've got Angela, not Angela, Angela Winbush, superstar, you know, all the songs that you love. Then we have the crooner, Mr. Keith Washington. He's going to have all the ladies, you know, just feeling good all about themselves. And then we've got the meeting in the ladies' room, the men all pause. I still say yes. Climax.
There you go.
Joyce Irby and Climax.
There we go. Hey, man, you know, I haven't seen you, man, since COVID, since pre-COVID.
I know, man. You know, it's getting back to normal to get out and see people again, but, you know, we had to lock it down, man.
Yeah. But it's good to see you, man. You slim and trim. Hey. I got about 30 more to go. Don't look at the YouTube. Don't look at the YouTube.
Getting on the bike in the morning, and hey, I got to if I want to stick around.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to do the same, man. Thank you, Vince. I'm going to let you do your thing. Again, y'all, we're going to do News with Syracuse Mike coming up. Vi and Talib, we're going to do the Newsmakers Forum. Tonya B's got the tea, and at the end, I'll do my Black Mirror review. So stick around. Thank you so much again, City of East Point, 2023 Celebration of Freedom. Let's get to it, Mike. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
The white Florida neighbor who is accused of killing a black mother of 4 has been granted bond. Susan Lawrence has entered a not guilty plea. The Marion County Sheriff's Office said Lawrence had a long-standing neighborhood feud with A.J. Owens about Owens' children playing near her home. The feud came to a head on June 2nd when authorities say Lawrence shot Owens through a closed door in Ocala. The case has again raised questions about Florida's stand your ground law. A portion of I-95 in Philadelphia will remain closed after tanker fire burned under an overpass, causing a collapse. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation said the fire closed all lanes between exit 25 and exit 32. Former President Donald Trump entered a not guilty plea Tuesday. Actually, his lawyers, Christopher Kise and Todd Blanche, offered his plea. Blanche said, "We most certainly enter a plea of not guilty." Trump faces 37 federal charges, all related to his mishandling of classified documents. It was his first court appearance on the charges. During a brief stop at a well-known Cuban restaurant in Little Havana, a neighborhood where Trump has many supporters, he told the media on hand,
"I think it's a rigged deal here. We have a rigged country. We have a country that's corrupt."
Outside the Miami courthouse, attorney and spokesperson Alina Hubba blasted the prosecutors, and not just those who brought the grand jury indictment, but those who continue to probe his activities in New York and here in Georgia.
The decision to pursue charges against President Trump while turning a blind eye to others is emblematic of the corruption that we have here.
After his arraignment, Trump headed to Bedminster, New Jersey for his first major fundraiser of the 2024 presidential campaign. Trump is the first U.S. president in history to face a federal indictment. Denver police are investigating multiple shootings that sent a total of 11 people to the hospital after thousands flocked downtown to celebrate the historic NBA Finals win by the Nuggets. Tuesday morning, Denver PD said 9 gunshot victims were located, and one of those was identified as a suspect. Authorities believe the shooting was drug-related. All of those injured are expected to survive. There was a special celebration at the White House this week. AURN's Ebony McMorris has the story.
If people can be taught to hate, they can be taught to love.
That was Miss Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth, kicking off, alongside Vice President Harris, the White House's first ever Juneteenth concert held on the South Lawn. Now, the event, in coordination with Black Music Month, brought out A-list stars like Jennifer Hudson, Lettucey, Audra McDonald, even Tennessee State Marching Band, and many more. Here's President Biden.
To me, making Juneteenth a federal holiday wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a statement of fact for this country. To acknowledge the origin of the original sin of slavery. To understand the war was never fought over it. It wasn't just about the Union, but it was most fundamentally about the country and freedom.
This historic day commemorates the moment on June 19, 1865, when Union soldiers carried the news of emancipation to the last enslaved Black individuals in Galveston, Texas. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Thanks for the headlines. Talib Shabazz is here. What's up, Talib? How you doing, man?
What's up?
By the country, I wanted to call you Talib the Brain Supreme, but DC might get mad.
Got that, yeah.
The one and only country commentator. Y'all give it up for Vi in the building. Vi, what's up?
All right.
Newsmaker crews in the building, man. Appreciate y'all. It's a special weekend coming up. You've got Father's Day, of course, but we also have Juneteenth weekend, and of course the national holidays on Monday. And for those who might be a little hazy on what Juneteenth is the actual date that the Union soldiers announced in Galveston to the Texas slaves that the war was over and slavery was over. So, and of course, that was in 1865. The Emancipation Proclamation was on January 1st, 1863. By Lincoln. But, for me, I say all this to say this week, President Biden held a special concert on the White House lawn. A lot of folks are really praising him for it. It was a really nice concert. Well done. Very culturally appropriate. You had Jennifer Hudson, Tony Award winner, Audra McDonald was there. Method Man. Method Man was in the building.
Right.
And it also tied into Black Music Month. So I asked you guys, and with some controversy across the country about Juneteenth possibly being co-opted now that it's a federal holiday. Are you happy with the way it's being celebrated? And I'll start with you, Talib. Are you cool with Juneteenth after a few years of having it as a national holiday?
I don't remember ever petitioning the government for a federal holiday in the name of Juneteenth anyway. So okay. It was very surprising when I got the news that Juneteenth was going to be a national holiday. To be honest, I don't like it. I mean, okay. It's great that it's a celebration of us and our ancestors. And any time that we give thanks is a good day. At least that's what I was told, even about Thanksgiving. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I think we need to recognize these holidays as accomplishments, or this holiday as an accomplishment for us. But at the same time, Walmart making Juneteenth ice cream, and then you got.
I think they backed off on ice cream. But you're right. They caught hell last year.
They
really tried to make Juneteenth ice cream.
Yeah. It was
in African colors. Yeah,
right. And then this year, with the whole South Carolina craziness going on, was it Columbia, I believe, or?
There was a couple of Greenville.
Greenwood. It was Greenville. And they had, the street banners were white people.
Yeah. And the marketing company said they wanted to make sure it was Inclusive. I said, damn.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah. And then people want to complain about it, but I'm like, yo, it's a day off from work. What is there to complain about? Whether you like the holiday or you don't like the holiday, take the day.
Look, I take all of them. I take Flag Day too. I take them all. When the government say, Mr. Lyon, this is a state holiday, I only care what day it is. I'm just off.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing under the Juneteenth, I think it's got to be more on us as black people on our own. We need to make it a holiday.
Right.
Because we're not doing anything about it. I mean, because I don't have any kids or anything like that, so I wouldn't even know it was Juneteenth until somebody told me, so you're off June. That's for what? Juneteenth? I said, oh, okay.
Wow.
And I don't see, because maybe it's me. I don't see anything on the news, and I don't see much talk about it on the news. I don't see much talk on the internet. I don't see anything about like the 4th of July and other day you see all about. But I think but I really say that is on us. That should not be on Biden and on the government. If we want our holiday, then we need to recognize it.
Yes. Yes.
We don't need to recognize it. We need to recognize it.
Let me say this on that note. I lived in Texas. I mean, I moved to Texas back in 94.
Okay.
And it was an eye-opening shocker to me, the level of seriousness that they put into Juneteenth in Texas.
I can see why,
rightfully so.
But I can see why Texas did it, because they actually lived it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
they understand it.
Yeah.
Because they probably teach it in Texas. I wouldn't be surprised if they teach it in school or they talk about it a lot.
Well, it was huge. When I was in Dallas, I started. I was there from '94 up until the early 2000s, and I will tell you that it was a huge holiday in Texas, which of course, rightfully so. Right, go ahead, Talib.
Really, I kind of have to go back to what Vi was saying. Is that when it comes to things like this, it's a matter of how much importance do we actually put on it.
Right. How much put on it.
Because once things have reached the corporate masses, it's out of our control. It's a big thing, but we are still not really utilizing it, or we're not properly channeling it because it wasn't our thing. You know what I mean? And then, you got to look at, all these corporations with this good credit score thing that they're the social credit score, like similar to the Chinese, what they're doing, so corporations get rated on how well they handle themselves in these diversity situations. So you got Budweiser with the big Pride weekend, the Pride month, and all these people at Target selling Pride gear. They're doing this thing so they can still satisfy whatever corporate thing they're looking to satisfy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, and unfortunately, once corporate takes over, the things get diluted. So it's really going to be up to us to save this.
Yeah, I agree.
It really is going to mean something.
Well, I think what's going to be important is that we have representation in the boardroom. So when it comes down to a lot of these decisions, especially a lot of these marketing decisions, that somebody's there to say, whoa. It's kind of like, I watched Blackish for the most part. It was kind of like when in Blackish, when they were sitting in the boardroom and Anthony Anderson would have to say, what the hell are y'all doing? So you got to have somebody like the character like Anthony Anderson played in Blackish, who stands up and says, "Whoa!" Right. So nobody was in the boardroom at Walmart.
Definitely.
One more thing. Go to you, Vi. One more time. One more thing on.
I think as a people as a whole, we have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And when I say recognize it, don't wait till the corporate do something we don't like. Yeah. We have to recognize it before they do something they like. We have to make it important to us. Now, I don't think we see it as important to us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what's your big takeaway? This is going to be a shortened week because of all the holidays this weekend. What's the big takeaway for you, Vi, from the week?
Well, I know you're tired of hearing it. I'm talking about your man you call Cheeto Jesus.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. So go for it. It is what
I'm like the prosecutor said. He said, Trump He just confessed to the crime in his speech when he said, I have a right to keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, so like they said, you ain't got to testify against yourself. You just did it. We can use that against you.
Yes.
Since you said you had the right to keep it.
Yes.
You just admitted that you had it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the... I don't get it. If we don't get him on this, he can't be getting... If anything, they should make a deal with it and say, look, we're going to send you to jail. Only way you're not going to go to jail if you stay out of politics, because you're not fit.
Yeah.
Pull him to the side and tell him. We ain't got to tell the world. He can make any kind of excuse he wants to how to get up, but pull him to the side and say, look, you the president of the United States, used to be. It'd be an embarrassment to us to put you in jail.
Yeah.
But if you don't stop this foolishness, out in this country, spend all these lies, we're going to put you in jail.
And you know what?
We'll take that
let me say this,
embarrassment.
Brian. I look, I'm big, and just like you, I'm into superheroes and the whole Marvel DC thing. He's like Lex Luthor. You can't put that kind of mind. Let me say what I'm gonna say. You can't put that kind of mind in general population. You know what I'm saying? The only way you can do away with that mentality is to exile. I mean, what's the thing that Superman, the Phantom Zone?
Yes.
Where
Trump definitely needs the Phantom Zone.
He needs the Phantom Zone.
But that was, Lex Luthor is a very, very intelligent individual.
That's what I was saying. You insulting Lex Luthor.
But I'm just saying.
Call him the Joker. Call him the Joker or something.
Not a Joker. He's definitely...
He more like the Joker. He just pure evil.
The Joker was pure chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos. He was just a chaos agent.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Indeed.
Trump is just pure. He does it because he can.
Yeah.
Because he can.
What's your big takeaway for the week, Talib? What's your big takeaway?
I'm not sure if it was this week or last week, but Chris Christie has now officially thrown his name into the hat.
Yeah.
And had a public speaking appearance where he called the president the biggest grifter ever.
Yeah.
Or something to that
I agree.
effect. Now,
I agree.
Oh, totally. And he said, he's like, Jared and Ivanka get $2 billion from the Saudis as soon as Trump leaves office. Yes, we know that this kind of stuff happens. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful that one Republican had, the cojones to actually bring that up.
Yeah.
It's funny that it comes from somebody like Chris Christie, who seemed to be pretty much a bootlicker during the Trump administration until Trump, had no more use for him. And now, he could be seeming like, he's...
Trump insulted that man one time too many.
Right.
Yeah, he shot him to the Phantom Zone.
He said, you don't talk about me so bad, I can go ahead and say what I want to say now.
But what is funny is that I started doing just a little bit of research after that, because I really was, trying to understand what's going on. The Saudis are basically saying, hey, man, we're throwing money at pretty much everything. The Tiger Woods deal, they signed another soccer football player for he's making $273 million a year to play soccer,
Wow.
So and then I did a little more research and found out that the largest oil refinery in the United States is owned wholly by the Saudi government.
So we don't sold our own oil to them?
Our oil reserves are going other places. We're clearing out our oil reserves and it's going overseas. It's going other places. It's not these reserves are not just for America anymore. And with them owning the largest refinery in the United States, the Saudi government.
Yeah.
Come on, yo.
Well, let me say this to everything you said, Christie and all the folks who seemingly get it.
Yeah.
The problem with all that is the statement that they make to get into the race is that they ultimately will accept whoever becomes the Republican nominee.
Right.
I got a problem with that.
Yes.
Because if you feel that he's the biggest grifter in the history of the United States, how can you agree that if he does win, then you're going to support it?
Right.
So all these folks who are saying, well, he's this, and even Nikki Haley came out this week and said, well, he's this and this. But on the other end, at the end of it, when it's all said and done, no matter who's president, we'll support the nominee. Right. I mean, same thing with our governor. Governor Kemp has been uber critical.
Yes.
But yet he comes out and says, whoever the nominee is, I'll still support the nominee.
Right.
And again, like I said on last week's show, and I'll end it with this and jump to my final. It's like when there's loyalty and then there's idolatry.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I don't mean that in a, I know idolatry, you hear that in a religious sense. This is, it is almost like
it's worship.
That's why I call him, Cheeto Jesus, because it's almost like they do.
Yes,
they do.
That. Yes,
they do. They do.
Yep. So with this, my thing for the week is the Tyler Perry purchase. And I don't know if it really is a purchase, because you see on the gossip rags, Twitter, all social media, that Tyler Perry has acquired BET and VH1.
Right.
But the major networks, the major news outlets have not officially confirmed that. And even when you look at Tyler Perry's official Twitter, there's no mention of it there either.
Don't know.
Well, I took some time. I watched BET.
Okay.
For the day. Had it on in the background while I'm working. And I did notice you don't see a lot of the Viacom-owned product now on BET. You see the Marathon Celebrity Family Feud with Steve Harvey.
Right.
You see Martin, and then you see all the Tyler Perry stuff. Okay. And really, that's all they're promoting. Before, if you recall, BET would show movies.
Yes.
They're no longer showing the movies outside of, let's say, I think I saw Obsession, which is not a Viacom movie. But I'm not, and that was T.D. Jakes, and I think Perry might have been involved in that. That's the Beyonce movie.
Right.
But my point is, when you watch BET, I don't see a lot of the Viacom, because Viacom is Paramount and, MTV. A lot of those black MTV movies, Paramount movies, have been pulled. Okay. So, but it's confusing because there's been no official statement from Tyler Perry. There's been no official statement from BET. And when you go on Wikipedia and look up BET, now by the time this airs, it's going to probably be a parade.
Right.
The podcast is going to air and there's going to be a parade.
Right.
But as of now, when you go to Wikipedia, it says it's still owned by Viacom.
Well, let me ask you this,
mostly Tyler Perry Productions, but that's been going on for a while. Tyler Perry has been running BET Plus, all his content's on BET Plus.
Right.
So he's been heavily involved with BET for a while. But go ahead.
But let me ask you, what does the advertising look like now on BET? Because you work in radio.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to the smaller market radio station, it's definitely not the high gloss. Big.
Well, let me say this though. See, when you look at the cable networks, BET is up there.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking BET is top 20.
Okay.
People don't realize BET from a ranking standpoint.
Right.
They don't. You may not realize how big ESPN is. From a ranking standpoint, it's like in the top 5 consistently. But BET as a network is so strong ratings wise. These folks aren't going to, I don't see them canceling their contracts because they're going to wait and see.
Okay.
Plus these and most of them do annual contracts.
Right.
They do these, they front load everything. So it looks, they're not going to cancel in the middle of the year.
Right.
Plus, the other thing is it's not as disruptive because, Tyler Perry content's been covering BET for a minute.
Right.
But I'm just surprised that it got out and there's nothing official on as of the taping of this segment.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing official on his. There's nothing official. The Wikipedia, which most PR companies like as big as Viacom, companies that have their own like huge PR company, they go in and change everything.
Right.
They wipe social media. They wipe everything. That hasn't been done yet. So that it's confusing to me, this whole scenario, because why would you not want to go ahead and celebrate that?
Right.
That's the big takeaway from the week.
But to you, I guess to the average person like me, we thought he already had it.
Yeah, but when you look, I checked the sources. I checked,
right? You know what I'm saying? Because I thought
sources. Nobody's mentioned it.
Yeah, because I thought I had saw someone on the internet saying he
there's plenty on the
internet. But you doing all the research. No, I ain't seen nothing else besides the internet. I ain't seen no proof to say he got it.
You don't see it in Forbes. You don't see it New York Times. You don't see it, on all the major financial newspapers and magazines, blogs. USA Today, I don't think has done anything official yet. But again, you go to Tyler Perry's own Twitter,
right,
and his social media, he hasn't made any statement.
He hasn't even. When if he ain't said it, he ain't bought it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that ain't getting dry. He ain't getting dry
because they stepped out. Even TV One, which TV One is a competitor, TV One had a story questioning has it happened. So, all right, y'all. I just wanted to make sure I got that through. And again, I gotta say, Jokic.
Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah. The
denegrification continues.
Right.
He is. Y'all can stop denying him now. He is the man. Now.
Oh yes.
He's the new
man.
He's the new
Congrats
king.
to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Great game. Great game. Game 4.
Great game. Great series.
Game 5. Incredible game.
Yeah.
Incredible. I was on my seat. And Thomas, I was texting you every 5 minutes like, yo, is this for real?
And I was telling my girl,
to the check with Vegas.
Right. I said, Miami might pull it off. they might win one more.
Talib told y'all you should have called Vegas.
Right.
All right, y'all. We love your thoughts. Go to Castropolis.net, choose the People Poll, or you can check our social media. If you go to the bio, the People Poll's in there. Love your thoughts. Love your comments. I'll play back the best, of course. And again, thank you so much, Talib Shabazz. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on. Vi, thank you, country commentator. Appreciate you, man. And let's go ahead and go to break, and we'll come back with the tea with Tonya B. Appreciate y'all again. Thank you.
Bye, bro.
Later.
This is the G Podcast returns after this message.
It's tea time, y'all. Sippin' the tea with Tonya B.
Oh, yes, this is how we do it each and every Sunday right here on This Is the G Podcast. It's your girl, Tonya B. So you know what time it is. It's time to sip some tea. Let's just get right to it, Tommy B. We must start off with the celebrity prayer list once again this week. Condolences to the family of NFL Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. It wasn't until Ray Lewis got to the Baltimore Ravens that I even knew they existed. I'm not a sports, authority. But anyway, he lost his son, Ray III, from an accidental overdose this weekend. I can only imagine the devastation of losing a child. But I'm telling you, these people, it's young people and older people are, taking these street drugs and mixing drugs and making drug cocktails. It is so lethal. Please, 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 in the name of James Brown, just say no. We've also got to send our prayers to another NFL legend, prime-time Deion Sanders. Now, you may remember he had 2 of his children moved about a year or so ago because he had problems with blood clots and circulation. Now he is facing the possibility of losing his entire foot. by way of amputation because of these blood clots and circulation problems. So, you know what? Teachable moment. Take care of your health, people. And maybe they can pray for NBA player John Morant. I don't know what that young man, I kind of think it's not so much his friends that might be his ruin. It could be his family contributing to all of this mess. He's been suspended for 25 games, which was originally, I'm hearing, going to be 40 games. But he said he wants the world to know that he promised to be a better man. And I hope he keeps his word. If not, he's going to get sent to the Charlotte Hornets. I told you last week about the elder abuse and financial abuse claims with the allegations of actor John Amos. Daughter went on with this video, then she talking about she needs $500,000 to pay his medical bills. And John Amos said, she lying. I'm out the hospital. I had some circulation problems, but all good. Now his son, who was supposed to be his caregiver, has resurfaced and they apparently reunited. And I guess it feels so good for the moment. Something still smells fishy over there, Tommy B. I got to tell you. Here's some TV and film notes. Get your pen or pencil or get on your phone and write down the date, July 21st. The Jamie Foxx film, They Clone Tyrone, will debut on Netflix. Now, this was one of the last films he made before he had the medical incident as he's recuperating in a Metro Chicago rehab center. A piece of the action in the film that he barely finished in Atlanta with Cameron Diaz. Who knows when we'll see that. Also, wait. It's official. Tyler Perry has made history once again as the first black man to own 2 cable networks. He is now the owner of BET, BET Plus, and they threw in VH1. They didn't want that either. But we'll see what shows will stay and what shows are going to go. We will see. Speaking of BET, the awards are supposed to go on next week on June 25th, but there will be no audience and there will be no host. Boring. I can pass on that big time. I'm sure a lot of people will. Now, I want to also remind you on August 18th, a 5-part docuseries comes to the OWN network celebrating 50 years of breaking culture. It's Essence Magazine. Now, that was the glamour magazine for women of color in the 70s. Thank you, Oprah. Again, August 18th. Essence Magazine 5-part documentary. Another documentary is coming to streaming soon. Grammy-winning master guitarist Carlos Santana has a story he's going to tell. Now, his documentary had an amazing debut at the recent Tribeca Film Festival. He talks about an abusive childhood, his 55-plus year career, his culture, his issues, and I can't wait for that because he is still so smooth. Now, ABC continues its Soul of a Nation series celebrating 50 years of hip-hop and celebrating Black Music Month along with Juneteenth this coming Monday. Everybody's in this documentary. Fat Joe MC Light, hosted by New York legendary hip-hop DJ Angie Martinez. Inquiring minds want to know, why are the American Idol judges boycotting the show The View? Does anybody care? Not me. The boycott is allegedly because Whoopi Goldberg trashed the show as one of the ills of society. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it is a lot of fluff and just base model talent show. So Lionel Richie, pop star Katy Perry, and country star Luke Bryan aren't happy, but you know what? Let's keep this party moving along. Okay. I told you also last week about Candy Burris and her husband Todd. They are going to be the producers of the revival of the legendary play The Wiz. Deborah Cox will play the Good Witch. Wayne Brady's going to play the Wizard, so you know it's going to be funny. And Avery Wilson, who's a former winner of The Voice, will play the Scarecrow. Still no word on who's playing Dorothy. After previews this fall in Baltimore, the show will hit Broadway in the spring of 2024. Also, while we're talking about Juneteenth and music and culture, hip-hop legend turned actor Method Man of the Wu-Tang Clan will join Jennifer Hudson, Lettucey, and others. They went to the White House with Uncle Joe Biden to perform for a Juneteenth concert, and that will be coming to a small screen near you real soon. Now, everybody talking about this Anita Baker and Babyface feud. Well, it is now escalated too. Miss Baker kicking Babyface off the tour. You want to talk about a hot mess? Now, she's claiming that Babyface's fans, who she calls the King penny crazies are threatening her. Now, this is a tour that probably should have never happened because you remember Babyface sued Anita Baker back in 2006 for writing and producing music, and she did not pay him. She calls him a narcissist. Babyface said, things just happen. But everybody knows Miss Nita Baker is known for being testy. She will cuss out the sound and the light crew in the middle of a song on stage. Babyface, he's still winning. He's going on tour with Fantasia and Charlie Wilson. Okay, I'm just saying that's going to be a great concert. And when you look at, yes, they're both legends, but when you look at the hit records in the awards, hands down, bar none, Babyface is actually the winner. And he does not need the money because he just made $200 million selling his music catalog. And I guess the songs he did for Anita Baker will never see the light of day. She was supposed to, put out some new music, which we have yet to hear that. So if you bought a ticket to see Babyface and Anita Baker, you can get a refund. And she walk around looking like the crazy mad aunt. But I'm telling you right now, I hope, Anita Baker, you can do better. Babyface, keep it moving. Now we got to say get well wishes to the legendary Dionne Warwick. She recently canceled a series of concerts due to some kind of medical incident, something to do with her legs, Tommy B. So let's just keep this 80-something years young legend in prayer. Lastly, Nick Cannon. Here we go with him again. He went public and said 50 Cent is a fat rapper. And then here come 50 Cent's turned out ex-auntie Vivica A. Fox saying, oh, no, I got to clap back at that, Nick Cannon. Don't you be talking about my man, because you ain't nothing but the community. Okay, everybody be quiet. It's your girl, Tonya B. This is how we do it each and every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time live. This is the G Podcast, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Woo-hoo!
That's some sweet tea. Tasty, hot, sweet tea, Tonya B. And I'm going to say this. My experience with Face and Nita leans toward Anita. Much sweeter with Nita. I'm going to say sweet love. I'm going to leave it at that, man. But no tea from me. I'm going to let you have it. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Let me go ahead and get into this before I get in trouble. Here we go.
What you watching this week, Tommy B?
As a series, y'all, I'm excited about Black Mirror coming back, especially after 4 years, y'all. 4 years? So I'm excited that Black Mirror is back, one. And I have already watched it. I binged it because, I put in the work so you don't have to. That's what I do on this show. It was just great to have it back. And one thing I'll say this about this year, this release, this series, season 6, is that Charlie Brooker wrote all the episodes. Okay, he didn't direct them all, but he wrote them all. Brooker is the creator of the show. Started off back in I forgot what year, but it started off with the BBC only on Channel 4. After a couple of seasons, it went over to Netflix, and the phenomenon, you have it. All right, without further ado, what I'm going to do is actually just rank my episodes from least favorite to favorite. But I will say this overall, I don't have a problem with the show. I think there are people who are purists who don't want the show to evolve into something else. And Charlie Brooker, he admitted that he broke some rules. And I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of where he broke the rules, okay? So episode 5, number 5, Demon 79 is my number 5, okay? And it's a great story. Only problem is it's been done a couple of times before. I do love the lead characters, the lead actors. One of the actors, the guy who plays the demon, the black actor, is from I May Destroy You, if you know the show from HBO. The actress, I'm not familiar with her. She's purely UK, but did an excellent job in this. One of the things about this, it opens with this red mirror. Instead of Black Mirror, it opens says Red Mirror. This episode and my number 4 episode, or my 4th least, Maisie Day, which includes Zazie Beetz from Atlanta. I think you could take Demon 79 and Maisie Day, the story, and put these two in a totally different show outside of Black Mirror and just call it Red Mirror because they deal with supernatural stuff. Zazie Beetz is taking some hits, and this Maisie Day episode is taking hits because it's least like what a Black Mirror episode is. I enjoyed it, thought it was cool, but that's my number 4, and it's taking some heat on social media. Number 3, Jane is Awful. Without giving it away, I liked it, loved the concept, thought it was great. I'm just not a huge Selma Hayek fan. You know, I think she's a quote unquote kind of big deal. You'll get it when you watch it, why the actress has to be somewhat of a big deal. I liked her in Desperado with Antonio Banderas. I liked her in Dusk Till Dawn with George Clooney. Outside of that, she's okay. But this is my number 3. Jane is Awful. Great concept. Funny. Check it out. Creepy as hell. Number 2, Loch Henry. It is kind of Blair Witch set in Scotland. I know the UK folks love it because it's probably the most UK of all these episodes. There is definitely a what the fuck, I didn't see it coming moment. Definitely number 2. Loch Henry is my number 2. Okay. Number 1, it's Beyond the Sea. How do you say? It's just what the fuck moments throughout. You know, it's set in the 60s, late 60s, and it's about these 2 astronauts. I won't go into detail, but I will tell you it is probably the most disturbing I've seen in a couple of years from Black Mirror. They don't typically show a lot of gore. It's all implied, but I will tell you that even the implied gore is enough. Okay. I'm not going to tell you, but I'd love to know what you think about the premise of Beyond the Sea. It's my number 1 because, you know, Black Mirror is meant to shock you, and this is definitely shocking. Check it out. That's my number 1, Beyond the Sea. I'd love to know your take on it. Go to castropolis.net, hit People Poll, hit that orange button, leave me a message, especially even if you're new to Black Mirror. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. If you're an old timer like me, you've seen them all going all the way back to National Anthem. Love to hear what you have to think. National Anthem is an episode. Go to castropolis.net and give me your thoughts, okay? Hey, with that, let's go ahead and do the benediction with Vi. What you got, Vi?
No, I didn't come here to preach to you today.
Here's your inspirational moment with Vi.
A common belief in Jewish culture, suffering was the result of some great sin. But Christ used this man's suffering to teach about faith and to glorify God. We live in a fallen world, but good behavior is not always rewarded and bad behavior not always punished. Therefore, innocent people sometimes suffer. If God took suffering away whenever we ask, we would follow him for comfort and convenience, not out of love and devotion. Regardless of the reason for our suffering, Jesus has the power to help us deal with it. When you suffer from a disease, tragedy, or disability, try not to ask, why did this happen to me? Or what did I do wrong? Instead, ask God to give you strength for the trial and a clear perspective on what is happening. John chapter 9, verse 2 through 3. And the disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, it was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. People, I know this is hard to understand, especially in the world today. Just because you're suffering or having a rough time now does not mean that you did anything wrong. It's that God is asking you to have faith in him, that whatever you're going through, that he is with you and he will get you through this. So people, have the faith in God and know that he will always be there and get you through and give you the strength or whatever is happening to your life. Amen. Amen.
Appreciate you, Vi. Great benediction, man. And we want to hear from you. There's always plenty to talk about. Go to castropolis.net. Look for the People Poll. Hit that orange button. Leave us a voicemail. Again, if I pick you, pick one of the voicemails from the week. I'll play it back and I'll send you something. I might send you something. So go ahead. Just go to castropolis.net. Click on the People Poll, that orange button, and just leave us a message. Or you can just go to social. But primarily, I need some people hitting that mic. Go hit that mic, castropolis.net. Also, you can follow us at This Is the G Podcast on all our social and at This Is the G Pod on Twitter. Again, at This Is the G Podcast, at This Is the G Podcast on all social, except for Twitter. That's at This Is the G Pod. And don't forget, y'all, share us with your friends. I mean, Ashford and Simpson, they always say it best. I can't say it any better. Don't cost you nothing to share. Don't cost you nothing. And as always, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Vi. Thank you, Tonya B. Thank you, Talib. And also, before we close, got to say a big thanks to Karen Renee, man, and my city, y'all, East Point, for having me out at the big Juneteenth celebration of freedom. Well done, y'all. Well done. Thank you, Vince the Voice. Excellent video work, man. And if you want to see Vince's work, go to the NAACP, the Atlanta NAACP's Facebook page. The full Juneteenth celebration is there, all 4 hours. But you can see Climax, you can see Angela Winbush, you can see Keith Washington, all that's there. And with that, y'all, episode 180 is in the can. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great week and happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you have a great week. Peace and power to the people, y'all. See you next week.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.